LGBTQ talk, and this is the breaking news Wahala segment, where we bring you developing stories and breaking news from all around the world that affects the lives of LGBTQI persons. My name is Marvelous Achafu, and I'm reporting from Lagos, Nigeria. And we have Chimereze Henry reporting from Canada. Chimereze, how are you doing today?
Good morning, Marvelous. I'm fine and I'm doing okay. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good too. Thanks for asking. So today on the Breaking News Wahala segment, we're bringing you the story of the Ishba police who arrested 5 homosexual men in Kano State. And these men were arrested by the Ishba police, which is like the Sharia police of Kano State. They were arrested in Sheka Bade, which is the Combosto local government in Kano State. That's in Kano State. There were 5 in number, and under the Sharia law, they might be facing death penalties because of the Sharia law. They were arrested by the Sharia police, so they might end up being killed. So we just want to talk about the story and just first of all, we just give you the updates. Let me just make you guys understand what it's about. They were arrested, and the commander, which is Dr. Harun. Dr. Harun said that they will be tried under the Sharia law, and if they are found guilty, they might face death penalty. And he also urged the youth that the youth should stay away from such shameful acts. And they were arrested. They were arrested in July 11th. So till now, I don't think there's been any NGO that's intervened in their case. I don't think there's been any updates from any LGBTQI NGO. That's why I want to talk about it and just find out about. So first of all, Chimereze, let me go to you today. So what do you feel about the story? Did you read the story? And what did you feel?
Yes, I kind of read the story, but the thing is about the story is that we weren't able to get full information, which I asked you. We need to really get information about those who are involved and their lawyers, because like, are they residents in Kano? Where are they from? All these will determine the trial of their case, because if they are just residents in Kano and they are from Lagos, or their origin is from another state, I feel they have the right to adjourn the case to another law court, because they are not from that state. But if they are what do they call them? If they are indigenous of Kano, that is where the whole situation comes in. We also need to know another thing. We also need to know who is handling this case, who this individual are. We're getting, and how accurate the story is. But knowing that one of the main sources from BBC, and BBC is one reliable news information, then we know that this story is a true case. So right now, I feel like NGOs should look into the matters, and they should try to go deep into it and turn every stone that needs to be turned, so that we can have a full details of what's going on with these people. Because right now it looks like he wants to be covered up, and the case and the trial is done, and they pass their verdict, as Nigerians always do.
You know what is very shameful for me is the fact that their names were not even. It shows how much they not even. It shows how much the media did not even care about this news. And these are people that are even going to be facing death penalties. 5 people. It shows that we should know their names. We should know their full names. We should even have pictures of them, or we should have some form of details. But it just shows how valueless the lives of homosexual people, the lives of LGBTQI people are in Nigeria, that you can't even know them. There's no media, no even. I tried to look at the major news sources in Nigeria. None of them reported it. He had to take a BBC and a global, and was it Global Times too? I think Global Times did a good job too. And was it Pink News that put out this news? Then I think later I saw it from Daily Post. There was no major newspaper in Nigeria that reported this news. It just shows how much that we are failed as a nation, number one, in the lives of LGBTQI matters, that we don't care about them, whether they die or not, is their problem. Number 2, again, I want to ask that, what is in our LGBTQI, what's the word? The NGOs in Nigeria, how good are they doing their jobs in the north? Because in the south here, it's easy for us, because one thing I see a lot of LGBTQI, NGOs, they are very strong in the south. It's a good thing, they are doing a good job, but we need them in the north, because 12 states in the north operate under Sharia law. And in Sharia law, homosexuality is punishable with death penalty. So there are many people. I remember in 2019, was it 2019, the guy that was stoned to death, I think in Bauchi, I didn't get that story. I don't know, I did not remember to get that story, but he was stoned to death because of being homosexual. So I wonder what are these LGBTQI NGOs, what are they going to do about the rate of this killing going on in the north? The fact that they believe in Sharia law and they just, when they catch a move, they feel like it's to discipline them and to stone them to death. So that's one of the ways to go about it. And even in other countries in the world, what are they doing? Many Muslim countries. Let me go from Muslim countries to Muslim countries. What is being happening? In Yemen now, Yemen can be flogged up to 100 whips. Sorry, they can collect up to 100 lashes of cane if they are unmarried. But if you are married, it's the death penalty. They stone you to death by stoning. But for married gay women, they get up to 3 years imprisonment. Iran, on the other hand, Iran adopted death penalty in 1979. They adopted death penalty that anybody that is caught by being practicing homosexuality should be put to death. That was in 1979 after the Islamic Revolution. They put it under they want to operate under Sharia law. Even in 2019, a man was hanged. I'm sure maybe you know your dad is by head news. The man that was hanged in 2019.
We need to look for all those news so that we can have them appropriately told. Yeah, go on.
So that news, I would get all the news are there on the internet. Even in 2007, their former president, I remember the former president of Iran. What was that? What's his name? I think Mahmoud Shah. His first name was Mahmoud. That was in 2007. The president has ordained. It was like when he went to Columbia University. He said that in Columbia University, that they don't have gays as much as they do here in Iran. That his country. Let me quote his word. He said in Iran, we do not have homosexuals like in your country. You came for a visit to Columbia University, and all you could talk about, instead of wishing them well in the academics, and what you could talk about was that, we don't have as much kids as they have in Columbia. All form of terrible news, even in Brunei just made capital punishment for homosexuality. In Mauritania, it has always been illegal, but it was never a capital punishment. It has always been illegal in Mauritania. But in 1983, when they introduced the Sharia law, during that Sharia law, they made it their basis of penal code. And from penal code, from Sharia law, is death by stoning. Go to Qatar too. Let me just break them down because of time. Qatar now, 7 years imprisonment if you are not Muslim. But if you are a Muslim, you get death penalty. In Saudi Arabia, flogging or imprisonment, that is for the first time. If they catch you, they will flog you, 100 lashes of cane, or they imprison you. But if they catch you for the second or third time, once they catch you after the first time, you are executed. In Afghanistan, it's even a normal thing in Afghanistan. They do what they call honor killings, where family member, any of their gay family member.
I think that was even one of the videos I watched that was very traumatized. I don't know which of the country. I think that Iran or Afghanistan where they.
It's Afghanistan where they do honor.
Yes,
that was Iran.
Iran, yeah, it's in Iran where they push you from a story building. And this is where, like, sorry to cut you short, this is where we still need to come back to freedom for one is the freedom for all. Like, because we have freedom in America and Canada and Britain, and we hear all the stories of LGBTQ folks in other countries going through these hazards, it still has a mental horror in our lives. We are not truly free if our brothers are not free. You're getting, and this is one thing that pushes us to do the things we do. Maybe you've not subscribed. I'm not even begging for you to subscribe, but you should understand that all these other news outlets will not tell the stories. But when we have our own media outlet, when we have our own resources, we can tell our own story. We can report this news. There will be no jurisdiction or broadcast limiting us to telling the story, because like you can see what's going on. Most of the stories are not even told. The only news outlet telling the story is either Al Jazeera or BBC. And that's the truth. And no other person care because of all the restrictions and all the fine penalty they will give to them. Carry on, Marvelous.
So, and that's just the thing. And it makes me wonder that, see, even, I was at Afghanistan. The honor killings are becoming so much that it makes me wonder, like, you see family members that will bring their fellow LGBTQI family members, they will kill them and they will call it honor killings, that they are under Islam. It's a thing to honor, that when they kill it, they find honor in the sight of Allah. And it makes me worried. Moving on to Somalia too. Somalia it used to be 3 months, up to 3 years imprisonment. But in 2012, after they introduced Sharia law, as usual, This is why I'm going to Muslim countries, because this northern state is under Sharia law. In 2012, they made the Sharia law and it became flogging or death by stoning. Depends on the offense, the grievance of the offense. In Sudan also, Sudan is flogging or 5 years imprisonment. That is for the first and second time. But when it gets to the third time, and it's punishable by death. The same thing in UAE. UAE believes in fine and jail them. They have a law that is also punishable by death, but they've never used it before. But what they've been using from time to time is fines and jail them. I'm also in Pakistan, and these are, like I've mentioned, about 11 to 12 Muslim countries. And I wonder that, see, in these countries, whether we like it or not, the LGBTQI members, how are they being secured? That is the question I always continue to ask. Like, how are they being secured? How is their welfare being secured? What are the NGOs, or what are the, see, it's enough that every time I go online, I read, breaking news, this and that, we're doing this for the Rainbow community, we're doing this for the Pride community. But these people in these countries, they are like the least of the least. They are in a very terrible condition. How are their lives being secured? I imagine if I was born in that country now, how would I be living my life? I will be living it in fear. I will be living it in that's what I even want the media to focus on now. These countries and these states, like in the northern Nigeria now, what is the way forward in helping these people, in making their life not becoming an unbearable, like becoming a hell? So, Chimeze, moving over to it now, would you like to add something else to this? Because we spent a lot of time on this, we've said a lot of things, but I want us in other episode to discuss something like this too. We're going to add it in the other episode, but just carry on. What would you like to say about it?
We'll definitely have an update on this matter. It still boils down to building our community. One, we need to build our community. We need to put resources. We need to have to help these people. Yes, they are NGOs, but the question is, do they even have finances? That's the first question. Because when we say the NGOs to help, the NGOs cannot just go there and help without having a safe house. The NGOs cannot help if the community are not even paying fees. You're getting? Yes, we all know that NGOs get some support, but we don't know the financial stability of the NGOs in those developing countries. So we still need to help our NGOs to get resource. We still need to hold our NGOs accountable. Apart from treating STDs and STIs and sexually transmitted diseases and having free clinics, we still need NGOs to have a legal system. We need to have a legal system of LGBTQI lawyers and solicitors. We still need to have a whole legal team that will look into matters like this. What is their first option? If they go to Kano now and they decide to rescue those people on an escape, where are we taking them to? Because if you take them anywhere, you know how Nigeria is. Sorry to bring the Nnamdi Kano's matter, but you see what happens. They can easily be adopted from another African country and kidnapped and brought back to Nigeria. So we need to have a process where we can take these people to a safe place if they are convicted of this crime. So the NGOs needs to be equipped. We need to have a full legal system in place. We still need to have a rescue 111 or rescue 101, a rescue mission. In this situation, their life is at stake. And right now, what is our rescue plan, ABC, for these individuals? These are the things our community needs to talk about. This is why LGBTQ folks, we need to start getting educated. This is why LGBTQ folks, we need to start getting into political parties. When they say come out and vote, you need to register into political parties. We need to start having businesses. We need to start having timbers and calibers in the LGBTQ community. We need to start taking responsibility for our communities. We need to start having politicians and governing bodies in the LGBTQ community. Sorry to say, even here in Toronto, I don't even know who is representing us in the parliament. In Nigeria, I don't know who is representing the LGBTQ folks. Even in the House of Senate, we don't have nobody. So these are times where we as community members, we need to start. We need to start. The earlier we start, the better for all of us. Taking hold in powerful houses and powerful positions. Because we are queer folks don't mean we should be belittled to the least of least in the society. We need to exalt ourselves to places of power. And that is the truth. That is the honest truth, because for you to be homosexual in Africa, you must be in a seat of power. You must have money and you must be wealthy, unless your life will be valueless.
Chimeze, you've said it all. I don't think there's anything we can add. So it's still breaking news. And we know we're supposed to do another breaking news too, which is like almost like the same thing I said about the last. But don't worry, we'll focus on that later. But one thing that still bothers me is the fact that if I say a lot of things, this episode might just be long. That's why I want to use this episode as a foundation, just to let people know that in many other countries, these are even countries that we're talking about, countries that these countries I will mention, about 12 of them. There were about 12. People watch it, it's about 12 of them. These are countries that had death penalty. We have not talked to countries that they were that are, what's the word? That they face like even life imprisonment, or for like our country, like Nigeria now, you can face up to 14 years in prison. Some other countries to 21 years in prison. I think Uganda too is trying to even increase it and make it life imprisonment. And there are many countries like this trying to make their anti-homosexuality law very, very strong. Even some trying to push for death penalty. And I wonder that, and if you look at most of these countries are countries that they are underdeveloped, failed nations, failed states, that they have nothing to boast of. Instead of them facing the basic human needs of the country, what they are focused about is how to win, how to jail homosexuals,
Sorry to cut you short. Homosexuals have always been used as scapegoats for politicians.
Yeah.
And that's
exactly.
That's the honest thing. We need to come to unity. I feel like the revolution in America with JP Marshall was very successful, was because during the time of JP Marshall, I hope I'm getting her name right, or Marshall, I'll just say Marshall. During the time of Marshall, what she did was that she was able to campaign with the whole community. She was able to bring the community together. And when they decided to go for the riots and the protests, they were fully together. They were not divided. These people were not saying, oh no, it doesn't bother us, or these ones were not busy doing their own thing. They were together. This is where the power of unity. And that is the same thing concerning even Q Talk. We can see the result of power of unity. We can testify of this. We know very well, because when we look into our own personal works and our own personal things, we see that it's not going. But when we came together to decide to have a YouTube channel speaking out for the community, and we came together not by ourselves, we saw what the power of unity could do. And that was the same thing that happened in the United States of America with Marshall. The power of unity will go stronger. If you take a broom and one stick of broom, you can easily break it. But once you have a bunch of broom, you cannot break it. So I know that in these developing countries, there are situations there. But even at that, if we can unite, America unites, the LGBTQ folks in America, the LGBTQ folks in Canada, the LGBT folks in the West, the LGBT folks in Africa, if all we come together and say, oh yes, we stand together today, and we say a no to this nonsense, it will stop. But the thing that has allowed this type of cruel inhumanity to still occur is because we are divided. America doesn't care what Canada is doing. Canada doesn't care what America is doing. Since we have freedom, we just focus on ourselves. We've been so selfish. We've been so self-centered. It is time for us to change and unify ourselves. If that is the only thing we pass on from this message, let it be that we come together as a community. Unity. That is why they say, come in unity, community. I think we should still go back to that word community and understand what community truly means, and become a community, not a divided system. And that is the truth. And that is what I want us to think about. That is what I want us to preach about. And that is what I want us to do. Because we've talked about coming together, but how can we come together? Now that this story is being told, what could you do on your own end? How are you helping the community from your own end? you're getting. When it comes to starting a GoFundMe, if you start a GoFundMe, how many people are going to contribute to this GoFundMe? If we also start a campaign to write a petition against this inhumanity, how many people, common petition, just to sign a petition, just to sign a petition, people will not even take their hands to sign a petition. Then what are we even talking about? If you cannot just take 1 minute out of your own day to sign a petition for change.change.org, you don't have to be a millionaire, you don't have to be comfortable or large. The little things you do matters a lot. We can sign a petition. We can all come out in unity and make a video calling it out on all our Instagram status and saying no to this wicked homophobic art in this country. But we don't take our time to do this. But all of us will have the time to hook up from one house to another house looking for who will stop and bottom. No, let's be sincere. Let's be sincere. There was a fellow, somebody I truly know. I said, please, Oga, we have a YouTube channel. Please come on our YouTube channel. Let us talk about how homosexuals have been discriminated and have been imprisoned in Nigeria. This person told me, I don't have time. Though that it's on Zoom, you could just click a link and join on Zoom. But the same day, I said, okay, come over, let us chill. And this person not only took Uber, this is where our hypocrisy needs to stop. But the person could make a time the same day, the next day, to have sex. So truly, who is deceiving who?
That's a deep one. So I think we can wrap up with that. I don't think I have to say much. Tim Eze is in the spirit today. You are firebound. That's why I have to leave you to just flow with it. And for me, I would just like to say this in wrapping up in less than a minute, straight to the point. The right of every man is diminished when the right of one man is threatened. The rights of these men in Kano State, whether we like it or not, I don't care what anyone. Some people might watch me and say, oh, it's a lie, they don't believe in what I'm saying, but I would always say it anywhere, that LGBT rights, or gay rights, rather, let me use the word gay, because some people might know, gay rights are human rights too. So all these human rights activists that do not believe in gay rights or parade themselves as journalists, as human rights activists, you have failed. Because if you don't believe gay rights is a right, then that means you don't believe in human rights at all. Because whether you like it or not, gay people are human before they are first gay or whether their sexual orientation separates them. So I would like anybody that is watching, if you're a human rights activist or probably a barrister or somebody that fights for justice and you're in the north, please, you can just look up and try and follow this case through. I mentioned the name of the local government. Let me repeat it again in case you did not hear it. The local government is what's the name? Kombosto local government, and the place is Shekabade in Kano State. So if it's possible for you to get there and get more information for us, please, we would love that. And if you are pursuing the case or you know anybody that is looking into the case, please let them reach out to us, because we will not like this, the lives of these 5 young men to just be cut short because they were 20-something, they were in their 20s, according to the stories. Imagine the lives of 20-something-year-olds that have purposeful lives just cut short because of their sexual orientation. And some of us, we sit here and we don't worry, we don't even care. When we go, what we care about is music and football and just to catch one. Some people said they will not even watch this episode because they believe that all we want to say is rubbish, that we just want to talk. But we'll continue to talk about things like this because things like this are what really matters. Tomorrow it may be you. Tomorrow it may be Chimere. Tomorrow it may be you, that somebody that is watching. It could be anybody. You could find yourself in the north, and then you can just get picked up. And before you know, they try you under the north, the Sharia law, and before you know, you are stoned to death. So we'll continue to speak out against things like this. It will not stand. It's just a story that we'll stitch out and look for more information and still follow up. And please, just let me not talk too much. Let me just end there because we spent so much on this.
Let me just say a few words before we wrap it up. As you were speaking, I just realized that this is the most important job we are doing. This is the most important job we are doing. And maybe we never saw it like that, but telling this story is the most important job. And, fighting through activism is when we come to full realization and we begin to walk, every one of us. So like Marvelous just said, please, let us come together in unity and let's do what we can to make a change, even if it's just, in the little way we can. My dear, I'm so pissed off, but carry on. And please subscribe. Please subscribe. Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
So, and that's been our offering on Q Talk for this episode. So please kindly like, share our episode, comment. Please, you can say whatever you want under the comment section. And please don't forget, most important is subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please help the community, your own community, support your own community so that we can bring more stories, so that we can be motivated to do more. So until next episode, see you later. Peace out.